guys, how you doing? This is Mango Section. I'm here today to bring you a review Fairy Tail Manga Chapter 541. Now, it's a standard chapter of Fairy Tail, I'm not gonna lie to you about that. But it does bring up some questions for me, some pertaining to back before I even thought of reviewing Fairy Tail. I just noticed that even now, I noticed that thing now. But yeah, it did bring up some questions. The chapter's split into two parts. Everything that Fairy Tail, Lamscale, Sabretooth, all of them are doing, and what the Dragon Slayers are doing. So I'm going to talk about Fairy Tail and company first. So what they're doing within this chapter is has come up with a plan to defeat what? Can we say defeat? Temporarily defeat the Acknowledger body, his dragon body, and go forward, go working towards that plan. We know that the plan is for them to lead Acknowledger onto a boat, so invoking his Dragon Slayer weakness, motion sickness, and then sealing it within Fairy Sphere. There's the attack that they use, or I should say the technique they use back into S-Class Mage arc with it, that whole arc there. That essentially is a good plan because once Acknowledger can't move, once he's on the boat, motion sickness, he can't move, they get weaker and weaker as the motion keeps rolling, and to seal it in the sphere. And I'm assuming what they want to do is to have it sealed there until Natsu and company come back. And once Natsu and company come back, they can do the whole dragon slaying thing and slay the actual body. So that's a solid idea. But the problem for me comes when during this time within the chapter it's heavily implied that magic as a whole doesn't work on dragons. And now for me personally, I might have been wrong, but for me personally, it's always hasn't been a thing where magic doesn't work on dragons. It was always more of a thing of the magic that humans can supply is not strong enough to harm dragons. Meaning that if a dragon was to use magic and not dragon slaying magic, it would still harm another dragon because of of like status, like mortal status, like we have mortals, we have gods, whatever. And I mentioned it before in a review, like we might have humans, and we've got giants in fairy tale as well. Then we've got demons, and then we've got dragons or mystical beasts or whatever. I always thought there was some sort of pecking order with fairy tale, and it was always just the fact that the magic that mortals are hitting off, or humans, whatever you want to call them, the magic that they're hitting off wasn't enough to affect dragons. And this is why dragon slaying magic can potentially kill dragons. Some people might think dragon slaying magic actually sucks because we've never actually seen it defeat, or as the magic is called, slay a dragon. But I always thought, actually I thought it sucked at one point, but it came to a point where I thought maybe it's just because it's in the hands of humans and they're just of a low mortal level and they weren't able to affect dragons. So like I said, I might be wrong about that. But one thing that I am not wrong about is the whole fact that Acknowledger is the dragon that can eat all magics. So it came to a thought to me, if they do go through this plan, you could just get up and eat it. But then I remember the whole motion sickness, weakness, so therefore that would keep him at bay. So that's fine. But my whole point is, back at the S-Class Age arc where we first see him, at the time we didn't know what Dragon Slayer he was. In fact, at the time we didn't even know he had the human form. But my point is, why didn't he eat it then and then? Maybe he couldn't break through it, fair enough. But why didn't he eat it? Also, what is so special about these three fairy tale, they're three sacred magics that it seems that they can work and acknowledge you? And if that is the case, and there is something special, like putting them on the same level of degree as Dragon Slayer magics, where to the point where they're magics that can affect dragons, then why not just use fairy law to wipe it out? Yes, I'm smart. I'm smart, hero. You probably didn't even think of that, did you? No, you did not. Fairy law. Acknowledge you're done. The series done. Forget the 5 other chapters. But yeah, seriously though, those are things that I did think about, and I think there is some merit there. The other half of the chapter is the Dragon Slayers, all 7, going up against a Greninja, and now they can do absolutely nothing. They're attacking together, they're trying to work together and whatnot, but it seems that they can't do nothing to defeat him. And I think this is simply because of his new ravines of time power. We know that he can now control time space magic, and I think it's just because that the concept of time as we know it is nothing to technology now. So he's just playing with them. He wasn't going to lose. He was already OP beforehand, but he has now become to another stage of OP where he shouldn't lose. But he's going to lose this team. But yeah, that's essentially what we get. That's what we get now. And one thing else that we do learn is that how we learn his motive for the things that he does, and he just says, I just want to cause destruction, and I'm not gonna. I'm alright with that. I'm alright with that. It's not everyday tragic backstory. I lost my mom and dad to so and so, so therefore I now therefore I now hate the world. So I'm gonna rule the world for myself, or I'm gonna destroy the world for myself, and all this madness. It's not always gotta be that deep. Sometimes I just want to be a madman. And because I'm a madman, I'm gonna try to take over the world. So I'm not, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. But maybe he will come and think of something tragic, and he realized he's trying to wrap things up quickly. So yeah, he did that. But I don't mind it. I honestly don't mind it. I think I have another paper. I forgot now. And we know that Villager was on the hunt for all the other dragon slayers. We knew this before when he killed God Serena, so we're thinking, oh my gosh, why is he after them now? And we know that he's after them now for some harmonizing thing. I can't remember now. But what I really think it boils down to is that Acknowledger sees that the 7 Dragon Slayers are the ones that could potentially reach his power and defeat him one day, and he doesn't want that. So that's why he's essentially out to destroy them. I think that is the true reason. And if it's not, here and make it the true reason, because it's the only thing that makes sense right now. But yeah, that's essentially everything that happened in the chapter. I'm gonna give it a 3-star rating and call it a review. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't heard it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.